Okay.
Okay. I'll call to order the Planning Commission special meeting of June 24th, 2020. I get a motion to adopt this evening's agenda.
So moved. Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
There are no minutes to approve. So the continuation of the site plan approval for Roger Burton, 10419 Old Street Boulevard. Introduce yourselves again, please.
All right, yes. Good evening. I'm Charlie Burton. I'd like to thank you all for agreeing to meet with us tonight and make a special meeting. Thanks for coming. You all know Tim Messner from the Davis Bowman Friedel, and MJ Laughlin's our COO. I didn't title him; he's actually our Vice President, COO. He runs all of our companies. And Lisa DiVincenzo, who's our Executive Director, who actually builds all our buildings for us. She's in charge of building our stores and dealing with the contractors and things of that nature. So we have a great presentation here for you tonight. I think it's very thorough and will answer a lot of the questions that we brought up. And with that, I'm going to turn that over to MJ Laughlin and Lisa, and they're going to go through it and hopefully answer everything, all your questions, and any questions you may have. Stormwater will be handled by Tim. And so really what we're looking to hope to do is answer all your questions, get approval, and so that we can try and break ground in August. Our goal is to really move forward and try and get this building built as quickly as we can. So with that, I'm going to introduce you to pass it to you.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for seeing us tonight for our proposal of our new state-of-the-art image-compliant Chevrolet store next to our existing Chevy store located at 10419 Old Ocean City Boulevard here in the coolest little town of America, Berlin. Our new building materials will be corrugated metal above masonry, aluminum composite metal, also known as ACM, with a prefabricated shop with a stone facade on the front. The building is roughly 25,000 square feet and consists of 2 service drives, a new vehicle delivery drive, 17 service bays, 8 client advisor stations, and a business development center. Our showroom will display 4 vehicles. Lisa's passing around the layout of our new building along with images. That's our layout there. And then she'll be coming around with the images of the front, east, west, and rear sides.
So that's the inside.
Shopping center.
So that's the east.
Yeah, it's east side
Yes.
there.
And are you going to get to the doors?
Yeah. So we're going to have 3 garage doors on the front side, 2 for the service drive.
If you want, here, I
Yeah,
can show
front
you.
side. Yeah, front side. That's your east side. I think.
Oh, I thought you
Could
were-
you front side.
Could you just leave that laying up against that table right there?
Yeah, sure.
So that's the east side that butts up against the
Shopping center.
shopping center.
Correct.
Yep. You want to be the
Which
service
is
drive?
considered your back of your building, right?
Yeah.
The
Side of our building.
Side.
That's the side of our building. Yeah. So we're going to do the front side first. Yeah. So that's the front of our building. It's going to have 2 service drive. It's going to have 3 garage doors on the front, 2 for the service drive and 1 for the new vehicle delivery drive. And then on the east building, we're going to have 5 full-size garage doors on the east side, and a smaller garage door for our express lane. So we've got 1 door for our bus bay, we've got 1 door for our commercial truck bay, we've got our main door, and then we've got our quick lube door, and then we've got our mechanical room door, which is the 2 French door types that you see on there. All of our HVAC units will be located on the roof of the building. You can see.
Are they depicted anywhere?
They are. If you look at
And
this.
in the back of your, the full plan set, we did provide those full copies of the elevations, which do provide those.
We've got several mature trees on the property. We're planning to add additional landscaping and shrubbery, as you can see in in the plan on the easel there.
Yeah. And I'll highlight it in the plan
Yeah,
inside
it's in
there.
the book
so,
also.
yep. Mhm.
We've got an existing Chevy sign that stands 38 feet. We'll repanel that sign in its current location, which is at the entrance of Barrett Road. You see that in the flip chart that Lisa gave you? I think it's the 5th page. Just this one here.
What's the sign?
Yeah, again, that sign stands 38 feet, and we'll repanel it to make it image compliant. That's the existing sign. And then we also have another existing sign on the used car lot. That's 26 feet in height, and we'll repanel that as well. That's kind of our used car sign. That's on the west side of the existing building towards the front. We've got a dedicated area for a 17-foot easement for the sidewalk. We've set aside, once the neighboring businesses each construct the sidewalk, will join us on each side, so we've set 17 feet aside for that. Our lighting plan is attached. We've got a total of 18 poles, including the 6 that are already on site. So we're going to be adding 12 more poles to that, 5 double heads and 7 single head lights.
And that's on, show
Show them the light. Show them the
Just
light.
show them where the light poles are. And then the landscaping too is on
Yeah,
there.
the landscaping and lights.
So if you're looking at this summary there, ladies and gentlemen, you can see where the light poles are. Some of these are already existing, and then some of these are the proposed ones that we'll be adding. You can see the landscaping going around the front, and then some existing trees that are on there, as well as back here, here, and we're adding some shrubbery back there as well.
And while Lisa's walking that around, we've also got the location of the cul-de-sac on Barrett Road, as was requested.
The light poles are in, some are existing, some are proposed over here. Additional landscaping.
All the big trees existing.
This is existing and existing, as well as some of them back here. And you can see the additions closer to the dealership, as well as back in this area there. Good.
We're asking for a variance on our signage. According to our knowledge, the permitted amount is 280 square feet, and what we're requesting is to be factory compliant. It's going to put us at around 500 square feet. Now, what we're being told as to the total of the square feet is the two signs that I mentioned that are already there existing, the new car sign and the used car sign, and then the lettering on the front and the rear of the building that says Chevrolet, the service department, and then IG Burton on the back is how we calculate that to bring it to a total of 500 square feet versus 280 square feet.
So it's not new standalone signs, you're just talking about the sign on the back of the building is the additional?
Yeah, the sign on the back of the building and then the lettering on the front of the building notating the service department,
No
the new
more
vehicle delivery drive.
standalones.
Correct, and then Chevrolet and the bow tie on the front. So that's the variance that we're asking for.
You can show them the back of the,
Show them the back of
I can.
the 50 sign, please.
and that would be just showing on 50 stuff.
If you look in your books, part of what's in that is the details, like elevations of it, length of it, are for all the additional signs and also the existing signs as well.
If you see in the Google Earth, or the street view image, where we show what's the existing signage out there at the road, that also has the existing light poles in the background. So that's exactly what the existing looks like, and going to be the few new ones that we're proposing are going to match that, which is also in the booklet.
And that back of that building, I mean, it sits off the highway where, I mean, there's going to be a vehicle display area between there and the highway, so it's not just going to be like a wall right up against 50, correct?
Right.
Correct. Tim's going to now go over our water, sewer, and storm management stuff.
All right, so the water and sewer is going to connect from Old Ocean City Road. There are existing services, town services along Old Ocean City, so we're proposing to tie into the existing services for the new building. The stormwater management is right now being proposed as 3 submerged gravel wetlands. Those are a little more aesthetic pleasing than a dry pond that kind of gets weedy over time. So we're proposing those, one in the very front right corner, one in the back corner, and then one directly behind the proposed building. Piping is shown on the plans to tie those in, and it's going to outfall into the bottom right side where the existing drainage for the site flows. So we're matching that existing drainage. And then that'll go into the swale along the frontage. One thing mentioned was along the front, that 17-foot easement for future sidewalk connection. That is the existing swale drainage along SHA is taken into account. That, so our grading plan does show that into account. So no future changes will need to be made along the frontage for that to incorporate.
John, on your question, you can see the building there, and then that's 50, so that it sets how far it's set back. Yeah.
It actually sits further back than the existing. Just a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a thing of our lighting, there's a lighting question and the wattage and things, or those specifics on it that's in your book also. I'll give this one to Tim.
Does anybody have any questions regarding the booklet or what's in the booklet?
I've always had this vision of this road that kind of conflicts with the nature of your business. I'm always the tree guy. But I like trees. And I think they soften things, and I think they really add to a quality of life. I'm looking at your plan on the southeast corner of the property, and it shows 2 big trees that you say are existing, but I'm looking at a picture in here, and I don't see them existing.
No, the southeast corner is proposed.
Okay.
Those are proposed.
What kind of trees will they be?
Those are river birch.
How tall will they get?
About 50 to 60 feet tall.
And they're good root systems on asphalt and stuff? I mean,
Yeah,
they can take the abuse?
We use them in our other stores, we use river birch. This is the, if you wanted to see it more closely, the plan schedule is on there.
Yeah, that's good. I was just wondering, I thought it existed.
So,
Yeah.
So the one out there is this pine tree I'm seeing in this picture, is that right?
correct.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
Trying to be accommodating to the nature of your business. I know that trees are your enemy, and I understand that, appreciate that. But this boulevard is one I've always wanted to think of as this road is one turning into a boulevard with sidewalks on each side and some shade. And it just seems to me it would round off your project if you could find a way to do it. It would round off the aesthetics. And try to get a tree on that southwest corner on the boulevard somewhere. Call it the deal tree. I mean, anybody looking at a car loves to get in the shade for a minute. And
Where
Where
are you talking on like,
on the boulevard, on the southeast corner of the property.
It would mirror the other one, parallel the other one.
Are you talking about on this?
Yes, somewhere in that region,
Okay.
a substantial tree. If you can find a way to do it, I just think it would round out the property, it would demarcate the property, and it would add some shade to that.
The tree, I mean, in that location from display though, I mean, it's just really impeding our business with saplings, bird droppings. I mean, that's just terrible on paint. And then you've got branches and limbs falling on cars that we've experienced in some of our other stores. So we're trying to keep
You
it
just can't dedicate the space for a tree to be there.
in that display area. I mean, is there another location that we can look at that's not where we would be utilizing so much of the lot space?
I'm just thinking in that space with the trees on the east side, and sure round out the property to see a nice monumental tree on that corner. I understand your limitations. If you all tell me it's taking away too much from what you need to do, I appreciate that.
It's taking too much away from what we need to do.
That's pretty easy, wasn't it? How hard can it be?
Respectfully, I mean, it really.
What's wrong with where the old building was? You got how many lineal feet of road frontage there?
Well, we're hoping we're gonna be selling enough cars to pay for this building that we're gonna have to stock them over in there and display them in that area. I mean, you know, the more openness that we can have to display our merchandise, the better off we are. We don't really want them to be shaded by the tree respectfully.
You get where we're coming from, I hope.
Absolutely, we
Okay,
do.
we're
we
here
do.
for reasons for the town of Berlin.
Sure.
We want to try to accommodate you.
Absolutely.
I don't think we should just say, okay, since it's too hard for you, we'll just let it go.
Well, I mean, I'm
don't really buy that
flexible,
stuff, I'm sorry.
Sure, we're flexible, but, you know, if we could get it somewhere on the other side of the property, on the back side where it's not impeding our lot, I think to us,
This
that
is
would be
the
a better
boulevard
solution.
Pete's talking
You know,
about right
when-
here.
I had nothing to do with this deal. We didn't sell it to them, you know, it was an in-between guy. But when we came here with the Chrysler building across the street, I mean, you guys waived putting trees on the front.
We had the same
Because
discussion.
it just doesn't make sense, okay? I mean, if there's some other spots, maybe you
That's
can
what I'm saying, I
suggest.
think we got some spots here, at the old building.
Well, they're gonna have the same thing come up. That's gonna be a future display area. I mean, so it's just, you know, trees are bad for a car lot.
So, when you had those, what were they? They were planted by.
Sycamores that I had
Sycamores,
cut down by
Right, right,
mistake.
right, they were a problem.
The worst thing in the world.
What was the problem?
Bird droppings. Sycamore has 3 different things that drop from them.
Root problems, root
You know,
problems.
they just cover your cars. They limbs fall. I mean, you know, it's, you know, you don't want to put, you know, 25, $75,000 vehicles that are brand new with fresh paint underneath the trees. I mean, you know, it just doesn't make sense
There is
for
one.
them.
This is a sea of display area though. I mean, you got a lot of.
You got to break it up.
And, you know, do we want a huge Pentagon parking lot without any shade?
If everybody on this
It's
road says,
sympathetic.
we just can't do this, then we just say, oh, okay.
Well, I
Is
think,
that how it is?
I think as a town, we try to accommodate somebody that's coming into town, building a new building.
That's what we're trying to do.
I-
That's what we're trying to
You
do.
go to other towns and look at dealerships, you see trees. I mean, you see some shade.
We got one up in Delaware named after a tree.
I
Yeah,
understand.
we've got 4 locations, I know this isn't Milford, but if you look at our Milford locations, we've got 4 locations that span across about a mile and a
And
half.
guys,
and,
Their landscaping on the buildings is
Yeah.
bigger than we ever
Yeah.
did. So, I mean, but they're not big, tall trees. They've got
Correct.
flowers, they've got
Correct.
bushes, they've got beautiful grass. You know, I mean, go look at it. It's a lot better than what we have. So, you know, I just think trees in that area.
And we want the aesthetics to be there for the building too. So Mr. Barrett's saying, we're gonna have it landscaped and it's gonna look tasteful and it's gonna have a lot of curb appeal. I mean, people buy with their eyes in our business, but we want them focused on the vehicles and the display. Our building's gonna look great.
The building looks great, but a building is greater when it is meshed into the environment and we're trying to accomplish on this boulevard. And I'm sympathetic to you. I'm sympathetic to your business limitations, but I'm also looking at a huge bunch of cars gonna be here. That building's gone. This is gonna be a lot of metal and glass gleaming in the sun. And
And it's a welcome to Berlin. That's one of the entryways to Berlin. And it's a sea of concrete and macadam and cars and metal buildings. That's not quite the welcome to Berlin that I know I like.
Well, the welcome to Berlin that's been there for the last 50 years, that it's got the one tree in the back. So, I mean, that would be our respect.
Here's our chance to change it.
Sure, I understand. I can appreciate that, but it's been that way for a long time. and I
Until he
think-
cut down all the trees.
But I
They
mean,
didn't work. I mean, it was
I mean, it's just,
Well, that was a bad-
it's just not conducive for a car lot to have any big trees like that. And
it's not
again,
conducive
we
to our
can-
town to have a Pentagon-sized parking lot gleaming in the sun. There's two sides to this story.
Sure. I can appreciate that.
And, you know, if we don't create some trees now, there's gonna be nothing there for the next generation to sit in the shade and do a deal. I think it would be beneficial to you. You think about it, you have a beautiful tree with shade and somewhere to sit and do a deal. You can sit and have a
Have a
shade.
smile.
There are a lot of people who appreciate a beautiful tree and some shade while they're walking around looking at cars.
Guys, is there any other locations that you could think you could put some trees that would possibly?
I mean, we've got a lot of
I mean,
shade.
you don't want one.
To me, the boulevard is where it matters. That's where it matters.
I would think the existing small used car office, where John used to have his office, if you remember, if you ever went and visited him up there, John Barrett, the small building in
Which is here.
the southwest corner, maybe you could have in front of that or even towards the west property line, just 1 or 2 or 3 trees.
Couple big oak trees.
Yeah, because all this is
And then it's
trees
very-
back here that you can see over above the
I get it,
existing,
but it's not-
what we call this area here, and then you've got the big tree that stands on the Staple
Talking about
property.
Old
So-
Ocean City Road.
Right, but you can see those trees even with the building constructed.
I get that, but that's not what we're talking about.
Okay.
Is that the only objection, is trees?
I'm sorry, guys.
That's
It's
one
just,
of
it's
them.
my thing. It means a lot to me
Yeah, I
to
would
make
say-
this road attractive.
You already have a grass area along the boulevard. You're talking about mirroring where these river
Not
roads are.
mirroring it, but getting a substantial
No,
tree
but,
on that corner.
you know, symmetrical maybe, right? Give it, right? So I don't know if,
Does it need to be on that corner, or can it go a little bit further towards 50?
Where would you like to put it?
Well, I really wouldn't want to put it anywhere, but
I know that.
I would say, anywhere in here,
Yeah,
I think we can make work in this
somewhere where you can get
corner
something on the
or
road, yeah.
somewhere in there.
I don't care how much you jam it up against the sidewalk. I love seeing a sidewalk lifted up by roots. I mean,
It's not like no one's
Yeah.
gonna know you're
I mean, if you were to be
okay?
able to put a
The
couple on
building's
that
gonna be
southwest
there.
corner down here, that's not.
so is that the only objection?
They're
If we
gonna know
agree
you're
with
there.
Dave, do we
It's
get
not
it?
like you're
that's
hiding
my
the
only
building.
comment here tonight.
I
Is just,
don't get why you think it's hiding the building. I mean,
It's not as
It's
much
not about
hiding
hiding the
buildings.
building.
It's about hiding the cars and the droppings and the saplings and everything that come down on the
You're
car.
losing.
dedicate a corner where you're gonna have some trees.
Right there, they just
Right.
Okay.
southwest.
That work?
That works.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
A big tree there and I'm happy.
There we go.
Thank you.
What kind of tree?
Huh?
The
Oh,
other side.
well, a substantial tree. I mean,
Well,
We can
You
mirror
tell
the
me
other,
the tree
mirror the other side.
Yeah, so if you mirror each corner, you've already got one corner to the other.
what do you say,
I'd
Ron?
take a big oak or something would be nice there. Something that has some substance to it. The river birch are more landscaping trees than
But I mean,
they
tree's kind of a tree, it accomplishes what we're looking for, doesn't it?
So I
are. A
think.
river birch is more of a landscaping type tree.
But they grow pretty high, don't they?
They're pretty, you see through them pretty easily, they have small leaves, they have pretty bark. We're talking about a tree that has a crown to it.
Right.
Rather than something that's just up,
But
under
this is
something with
60.
a crown.
Right.
One thing about, with that thought process too, is we gotta think about the species of trees.
Exactly.
So oaks, you know, when they drop acorns, we don't want that on the vehicles either. So, you know, we just gotta be specific with the fruit and the leaf litter and that kind of stuff that's created.
Sycamore was terrible.
It's terrible, terrible choice, it's a terrible choice.
And the time that this tree is gonna take to mature, and I know we're looking at it for the future, but I mean, the same aspect, I think we could aesthetically make it look better with the river birch and have it there in that corner to accomplish what everybody's looking for. To
River
give
birch
us-
does grow a lot faster than.
Yeah.
Pete, you like a river birch?
I like a tree that gives you some shade, gives you some monumental look, and that can survive the asphalt and the heat.
Well, this,
The root
And that-
system can
and that-
take.
And that
This-
wouldn't be river birch.
yeah,
You're
this,
talking about.
this one actually is. It's a variation of the river birch. It's called Durahee river birch, and it's specifically for areas that sustain drought and heat.
But it does, Pete's talking, I know what Pete likes. Pete likes a tree with a crown, and that's not a crown tree.
That's not a crown.
It's a landscaping tree.
It's
But
gonna
it
look
does
like
have-
one of these things downtown, one of these pear trees or something.
Bradford repair.
Yeah.
Well, no, it gets pretty, it gets big. I mean, it gets full. It gets
You said how much?
30,
But
40.
I thought we were really trying to accomplish something aesthetically for the boulevard, and that's where my disconnect is. I get it with the tree, we could have some shade, but if we're Number one priority, the look of the property and adding something to it so it doesn't look like the Pentagon parking lot that we referred to. I think the river birch will accomplish that, and it makes it easier for our business because you can see through the tree, it does grow faster, and we're not going to have the impact that we would with a higher tree, bird droppings and things of that sort.
It grows 30 feet tall?
No,
I don't-
50 to 60, the river birch.
Well, I appreciate the compromise, it's a fair compromise, I'm not gonna be a stickler about the tree.
Thank you.
I just think we need a tree on that corner.
You got one.
And I'm always a pain in the butt on this, and I'm sorry, but shade is such a beautiful thing to have. I don't think it'll hurt your business. I think you'll see people going to that tree, put a table under it with some chairs and do deals there.
Thank you.
That's the only comment I've got. Otherwise, thank you for the great presentation. You've done a great job. I appreciate the effort.
Any other
All I have
questions?
is the sidewalk myself, that's already been, and for the signage issue, is
Well-
that resolved this evening, or does that have to go?
That would have to go, if it's a variance, we'll have to talk about that, because the Board of Zoning Appeals, that their commission can't give you a variance from a code section.
Are we calculating that right with the two existing signs and our square footage?
First, I've seen this tonight, so let me do the math, and let's, I'll talk with Tim and both of you, and, but I think initially the one sign is too tall to begin with. It's a foot out of being too tall, they're at 6 feet. So, from what I see. So, let's do the calculation, the aggregate square footage.
Sure.
We'll see if you need a variance. It wouldn't affect their decision tonight. They can't make that decision for you. They could say they want to see the signs in purple, if they want, I guess. But if they are in agreement with how they look, they're pretty much close to what's there already. The locations are, and the sizing is, the look is. So if they don't have a problem with signage and you're going to let me work on the math, then they don't have to address it.
Sounds good.
It's essentially changing the panel from white to blue.
Background's blue, right, instead of being the...
I have just a general question, I'm curious, when you guys go to General Motors or people go to Ford or Dodge, to build these buildings, they have like things, you have to approve it through them?
Yeah.
And
Oh, image
they
compliance.
give you some like general guidelines or materials and
They
stuff?
basically say, here are the materials and the vendors that you can use.
Yeah, they pick the vendors,
They-
very strict.
Yeah.
Some of the pictures you see in here are from General Motors.
Uh-huh.
Interior pictures.
Like the
and
arch.
So basically, it's all their specs?
The
and you-
arch is the
Correct.
material that the
Uh-huh.
company provides.
And you figure out how it fits on the site, and then you present it to them?
And you have to work with the town that you might have to do
Uh-huh.
some variances and stuff like that. But in general, they say this is the building we want, the square footage that we want, this is the
Pretty
look
much,
we want. They
you're
want
pretty
it
much
consistent look.
at their person.
Yeah, so we had the contract with them, and then they sent an architect down and spent a couple days with us. He walked the property, he's, looked at a couple different ways and the best way to suit it for what fit General Motors.
And he's a General Motors architect?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
He's with a subcontractor called Gensler.
So
for
when he
General
does
Motors.
it, that's kind of his business.
That's correct, that's all he does. And he said he's been doing it for about 19 years.
Right.
So,
Okay, for example, the sign plans that you have in that book, they're not something we came up with, they're compliance for
Right.
for
For
Chevrolet,
Chevrolet,
so they kind of tell us, hey, this is the
Right.
signage that you're buying.
Yeah, it says Virginia Beach, the
Yeah,
outlet.
that they, correct, AGO.
That's probably a regional thing, right?
Some vice president.
They do it for everything.
So your franchise fee pays for the right for them to tell you what to do.
It's a good way to put it.
Well, they don't come free, you gotta pay for them too. So,
Yeah.
They charge you for the signs and the maintenance.
And then rent,
And then are they going to tell you at some point down the road, it's time for another remodel, or what kicks that in?
time, and
Them, really.
Usually about,
When they feel like it?
usually about 10 to 15 years,
Uh-huh.
depending on.
Yeah, they'll give you 15-year run. We recently redid our BMW store, and it was only about 7 years, and they just didn't like the image that they came out with. But it's just kind of, you cannot do it, but then they disincentivize you by not giving you enough cars, and they figure out a way to make it so you want to do it.
They have a way to.
And with BMW, they actually gave us 15 years this time, so, because, it was kind of, they really made the building too corporate, and now there's a lot of soft woods and stuff like that. Woods and like trees. Gotta come up with something.
That's a dead tree.
Softer touch, so.
Got Bert's countertop.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I don't care what the building looks like inside, I don't care about what the presentation outside, just to make a livable space that doesn't.
Well, it's going to be a beautiful building. I mean, I think it's going to be a real eye catcher. If you guys have been by there, our Chrysler store is almost done. We're supposed to be in there by July 4th. On the Chrysler side, we've actually added 4 bays on there. We were walking through that building before we came here tonight. And that's looking great. We're going to asphalt it tomorrow, and that will be beautiful. And then we're going to come across the street with this new Chevy store. We really see a huge opportunity in Berlin. We're spending a lot of money, quite honestly, in Berlin. But we like the demographics, we like the people, we like the town. We have a store in Lewis. We kind of consider Lewis to be the same type of demographics, i.e. people with money that aren't picking at your RO for $2 all the time. I mean, we think it's a good, viable business. We think we can get into the Salisbury market by having new facilities. We have a significant investment we're going to do in Berlin, but we really feel very good about it. We like the town. We like it's very quaint. It's our type of people. People are very nice down here, and they got means to buy. So we're very excited about coming into town. And we do want to present a nice facility for you. And trees are, but we've made a deal on a tree. That's fine, but they are kind of a hassle. John can tell you in the car business, and when it snows, they got to go around. But hey, we'll make that work. We're fine. And but I mean, you'll see our landscaping's nice too. We'll have nice bushes, and we're not all about just selling cars. We want a great customer experience. This is a nice place. We have our restrooms cleaned twice a day. Just because we want to make sure our restrooms are clean for our clientele. And in Milford, I think we got the busiest restrooms in Lower Delaware, quite honestly. Because everybody coming down to the beach can't really stop to go to the bathroom. Now there's Royal Farms, but I mean it's important to us. We're upstanding people. We want to do it right. We're not trying to do it on the cheap. We're very concerned. Our facilities are clean. They're neat. We walk around them all the time. I walk around all the time. Our shops are clean. They can be a little cleaner, quite honestly, because I've been walking around here recently. But as my great-grandfather, the blacksmith, said, no shit, no horses. But I think we got a little bit more than we need. But we are. I mean, we're very conscious on that fact. We've been around for a long period of time. We have a lot of people that have been with us for a long period of time. MJ's been with us 25 years. At least, I mean, we hire people and keep them. We hire good. We're not turnover. And in the car business, it's like, gee, you get a different salesman every 3 days. That's not our philosophy. Our philosophy is let's get somebody who's loyal to us, train them, make them great, and then keep them. And we have several 20, 30-year employees, wall to walls, who you probably know, John, still with us. We have a lot of people that are still with us. We invest a lot in our facilities, and we invest significantly into our employees. You can have all the facilities and all the great gingerbread you want, but if you don't have great people, you don't have a great business. So I think we have a great business because we have great people. And I think you'll see that. And if you could approve us tonight, we can break ground in August and get this thing built. And
Have a cook and a smile about
so
the
if
tree.
anybody wants to make a motion right now, that'd be fine with me.
Anybody else have anything else? Dave, do you have anything else for them?
I do not.
All right,
We'll discuss the sign issue.
Okay, does that need to be part of our motion that we don't have any problem with, or?
I would say with the aggregate square footage of the sign to be determined. The signs, sorry, to be determined.
You can just say that we'll leave the sign, including sign design and size, to Dave's discretion.
Or VGA.
I would say size, not the design. You've seen the design.
Design ain't gonna change.
Okay.
So you like the design, right? I guess.
It's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, so the sizing issue to be determined.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that can be determined by you without us
Yes.
reviewing it?
Yeah, we don't need to.
Yes.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, would anybody like to make a motion to approve this evening with the addition of the one tree and a picnic table?
No picnic table. A deal table. We're
Deal
gonna name
table.
it the deal tree. That's where you're gonna find out, you're gonna finish more.
We're gonna call it
deals
the
with
T.
that
Cosby tree.
I was gonna
We're
say,
throw a
I think
plaque
we're
on it.
dedicating
Somehow John could cut it down.
I would like to make the motion, I'm very excited about the project. We've had a lot of time at that property. It needs new life. It does. And with the exception of Pete's tree and the sign thing, look forward to seeing it done.
You get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I would just like to,
All right.
I'm just like to say, despite
Thank you.
my tree routine, I really am glad to see you guys coming in with the first time. You need-
Finally got somebody good at it.
Easy, easy.
Somebody I can make a deal with.
Good job, Ed, my man.
Got you one of these back.
All right.
Your key and share with us. Thank you. Thank you.
Chris, you need a motion to close.
I'm so tired.
I know, I'm sorry.
Thank you, good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Please come to our grand opening so we can stand out there and have a cook and a smile, man, all right? Down on your breath, please, all
Hot
right?
dogs under the tree.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, anybody like to make a motion to adjourn? You want to keep on going?
Okay.
All right.